You're listening to From Our Lens, a podcast for photographers and brides where we dive into all things weddings.
Whether you're a pro behind the lens or a bride-to-be, we've got you covered.
Join in on the conversation and take it from the gals who have been to a wedding or two.
Grab your camera or your wedding planner and tune in for our hot wedding takes. Let's focus on your forever. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. We're back. If you didn't miss us, we missed you.
Yeah, I was just saying it feels like we haven't done this in forever, but I feel like...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the weeks go by so fast that it feels like it's been forever, and it probably really hasn't. We're like starting to get busy now. It's our busy season again, and it's like... I was telling Sarah, I was like, I feel so frazzled all the time. Yeah. And this is how we feel until November or December. Like before Christmas, it like slows down.
Yeah. And it's fun for us to try and align our busy and always changing schedules because it's like raining here and we're moving shoots and it's just chaos.
And it's smoky here and we're probably going to be lit on fire anytime soon. I don't know if anybody knows, like there's probably some people from around me that are listening, but we had to deal with that around my area, like all the fires and evacuations last year. So I really hope we don't have to do that again for everybody's sake, but we're all just like prepared.
I know.
Yeah.
We need to send the rain that we've been getting your way because it's been raining here like crazy, but
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Not off to a very bright note, but
no. I just want summer again, like normal summer, but we'll see. It's giving me, I woke up the other morning and I walked outside and I smelled smoke and I literally had like PTSD.
Oh, probably.
It's like, oh my God, do I have to leave again?
Yeah. No, I don't know if people probably don't know this, but Jordan was evacuated last, fall?
Last spring. And then again, like we were evacuated twice. Right. And we had to leave twice. Luckily, the second time I already had a trip booked, so I kind of just went on my merry way. But but the first time was very chaotic, and I had to pack up all my hard drives, like in my luggage. I pretty much packed up my whole office into like a suitcase and just left. It was very scary. Yeah.
That shows you're a good photographer, packing up all your hard drives.
Your photos are safe with me.
The first thing, most important, is those files. Jeez.
Literally.
Especially during wedding season. That's so scary to have that happening because you're midway. That's why you have backups, but like you're midway through editing, you're bringing files home
I had grads booked. We had to reschedule a bunch of shoots. Like, I don't know. It was pretty wild.
Not fun.
We have something fun for you. Instead of talking about fires, we have some fun stuff to brighten everybody's mood. No rain, no fires.
Yeah. This is I was going through and I was like, wow, we need to do like an episode of like good things that have happened at weddings, not just all horror stories, because some of these are like they make you not want to get married.
We should do an episode of like
lighten the mood.
Wholesome wedding stories.
Yeah, that would be so cute. Okay,
it's on the way.
We're adding that to the list. We have some Reddit stories and we have some submissions from you guys
of just crazy wedding stories. And also we haven't shared these with each other. So I hope Sarah and I hope myself, we have like a fresh like reaction to it so we can actually laugh together with you guys. But
and honestly, there are some and I was like, this is too offside. I can't.
Same. And I was reading some and I was like there's a lot of things that happen that are very similar. So I tried to find like different stuff. Yeah.
And there was some from like officiants. There was some from, was it a DJ? Yeah. I found a couple like different ones.
That is wild. Okay. I want to start.
Yeah. You start, Jordan. You start.
I went to a wedding without a bride. The groom's family belongs to a family that has a tradition to not allow the bride to come to her own wedding. We had to go upstairs to greet her and wish her a happy life. She looked sad, dressed beautifully in a gorgeous white gown. She was sitting alone in a room, listening to faraway music of her wedding. It was the strangest wedding ever. The guests and the families were having fun eating and dancing, and the bride was deprived of all of that. The groom never showed up either.
I have so many questions. Was this a religion you said?
No, it just said a tradition. Like it's like a family tradition.
Interesting.
And she's sitting in a dim room, like sad. Like that is just making me So sad for her.
Like, what is the point of a wedding?
I also have a lot of questions because that doesn't make sense to me.
I'm shocked. Okay, that is so weird.
Oh,
how does that even work? Like, how do you legally get married if you're not at your wedding?
We're going to have to look it up.
Okay, that one is like a mind blow.
Okay, your turn.
Like, weird.
I know, it doesn't make any sense.
I was shooting a rural.
Rural?
Why can't I?
Say
that's
rural.
A weird word.
Rural.
I was shooting a rural?
Yeah, that's right.
Barn wedding in the middle of Nowheresville. Hot, humid, and overall sweaty day. Isn't that every wedding in the summer, though?
Honestly, that gives me PTSD also.
I feel like that is our entire summer. Anyways, I was wearing my usual regalia. Is that a word?
Yeah, that's an outfit.
I was wearing my usual outfit of black pants and a black button down. I'm guessing this is a male photographer based on this story. Okay. We had just finished bride and groom portraits, and I decided to help move a cooler filled with drinks to wherever they needed it moved. As I was walking, I stepped in one of those divots that gets mowed the same height as the surrounding grass. Divot was a bit of a misnomer, though. Don't know what that means. It was like a foot deep hole that I was unlucky enough to step into. As I caught myself with my foot, I took an extra wide stance so I was to not fall over. This caused my pants and boxers to rip from belt loop to back. I had to
so his skin is out?
Apparently. I don't know how you rip your boxers too. So he said I had to have my second shooter take over the bridal party work while I drove to the nearest store, a Walmart 20 minutes away, to get another pair of black pants and boxers. Nowadays, it's a funny story and reason I bring a second set of clothes along with my backup bag to weddings. Back then, it was a horrifying event, and Back then, it was a horrifying event to have my derriere hanging out at the wedding. Okay, that's actually a really good one.
Listen, when we were in school, our teachers told us to do that. And I'm like, hey, is this one of them? Is this why?
I know. And I think they had a story about why to bring a second outfit. I can't remember what it was, though.
I wonder if this is the story.
Maybe this is their story.
I would die.
That's why, like, I'm always so cautious about, like, what I wear to weddings.
God,
like, I'll make sure it's a maxi, like, legs are covered, because, like, what if the wind blows and your butt is shown to everyone? Like, it happens.
No peep shows.
Oh, okay, that's scary.
The groom and groomsmen took the bride to a strip club between the ceremony and the reception, got her completely wasted, and had 200 guests wait 3 hours for them to arrive. Family members were leaving. Question. I'd like to know why it was just the groom and the groomsmen. Like, what about
what about the bridesmaids?
Like, were we just not invited? I feel bad for them. Also, why are you going to a strip club?
That's so weird.
I don't know.
I feel like that's the last place that you'd want to go on your wedding day.
You know, to each their own, but, like, I guess I agree with that statement.
That is so weird.
Okay. That's very rude. Like, don't let your guests wait 3 hours. Could you at least wait till midnight to do that? Go at night. What are you doing?
Or like that, if that's your cup of tea, go on your bachelorette, or your stag.
I mean,
weird.
Okay,
this is a longer one.
Okay.
I feel like mine are all longer. Okay.
That's fine.
One time we lost the bride and groom. So the bride and groom wanted to head to the city to get some fancy evening sunset shots. This is way too much information. So we split up again, and I'm driving with the photographer. We get caught in traffic, so we tell the newlyweds we'll meet them at the same spot to where they shot their engagement photos, whatever.
Okay, great.
So only problem, he forgot the address and lost the bride's contact info somewhere. Literally have no idea how.
What?
No problem. We'll call the video guys because they'll have the info. They didn't.
What?
Yeah. The phone that had the information on it was dropped in the water earlier that night, and the other video guy's phone was dead. Long story short, we couldn't find the bride and groom and had no way of contacting them or finding where they were. We just went home.
Why? Okay, there's so many red flags in that story.
And there's so many, yeah.
First of all, Why are we as photographers and videographers not having our bride or groom's phone number?
And like, that's why, yeah. Or like, what about their Instagram? You could call them on Instagram.
Also,
jeez.
Why did you just go home?
Why don't you go to the reception? Like,
yeah,
figure out where they were.
I have a lot of questions for that one too. Oh my god.
And I feel like also it's just not a good idea to go to a complete different spot during sunset. You know? Like usually people do it somewhat close.
It's always chaotic when you have to drive from like one place to the other. Like there's always like a kerfuffle. You have to have so much time. Yeah. I feel like. Yeah.
Wasn't it? I think I was with you and we lost the videographer. Was that with you?
Yes. And then I Instagram phoned him. Yeah. And I was like, hello, you should come over here.
And I don't think he had the bride's number either. Like we were in charge of figuring out where this videographer was because it was like a town he had never been to.
Just saving the day. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's a funny one.
I hate this one.
Okay. I'm scared.
It's short. I'll say a few since mine are pretty short. But
okay.
A neighbor of my husband, for our wedding reception, it was a buffet, okay, made rattlesnake stew without telling anybody what the meat was. People started asking why when they bit down on tiny little bones in their soup, they wanted to know what it was. I was appalled at his lack of consideration at my wedding.
What the heck?
I'm sorry, but if I ate rattlesnake stew, I would throw up.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
No, I didn't either. But maybe
that's disgusting.
That's a sign not to do a buffet.
Why would you do a buffet? Ugh.
Okay.
Next one. If it was, that's yuck. Gross.
Okay. The bride had a man of honor. And they used to date prior to her dating the groom. So it wasn't like a gay best friend or anything like that.
Okay, yeah.
He gave the cringiest speech about how she was the one who got away. He talked about how much he loved her and said that if anything happened to her, he would come after the groom in a joking, but obviously not joking way. Dun, dun, dun. I feel like... I feel like, that's kind of a disaster waiting to happen. I don't know why you would put him in your wedding. I feel like I always find it a little strange when people put like ex-boyfriends in or ex-girlfriends in their wedding. Depending on the situation.
I don't know why you would do that.
I don't know.
That's a no.
Wild
So
times.
This was an ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was her man of honor. Like that's instead weird. Of a maid of honor, her best like man of honor.
Was her ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
I don't get that at all.
It's pretty wild to me as well.
That's weird.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm going to apologize, but my wheezing laugh is going to probably come out. So you're going to hear my...
when you're laughing too hard.
Yeah, you might hear it, so beware.
Oh. So this one is like a photographer's worst nightmare. So,
okay.
I once dropped an engagement ring inside of a bench and almost literally had an emotional breakdown. The wooded bench had slats, so I wanted to balance the engagement ring on the slats. Okay, stupid. I had it perfectly set up, but the Earth's tectonic plates must have shifted or a breeze must have blown, and the ring fell off.
I'm sorry. Do not blame this on an earthquake. We know.
No.
That. Okay. Sorry.
So it says, thinking it would just slide out. I hadn't realized there were metal plates on each side blocking my ability to get the ring out. Uh-oh. I paced for 2 solid minutes, dropping the F-bomb about 50 times, literally. Mm-hmm. I started thinking I need to find a janitor for the school I'm shooting at. No luck. I went to my bag and look for a Leatherman I usually keep there to use the pliers. No luck. It was at home on my workbench in my garage. I grabbed 2 sticks and I MacGyvered. I don't know how to say that.
MacGyvered.
And I MacGyvered that ring out of there by pinching it between 2 sticks. And I got to the bottom of the hill with the ring. The couple pulled up in the car to meet me after changing outfits. ... Like nothing ever happened.
Oh,
that is lucky.
God. Scariest. Oh my God.
Whenever I have the rings and I'm like moving them to go do a shoot, I put them on my fingers and like close my fist.
Okay, can I tell a horror? I'll tell a story because I have a story like that.
Okay, let's hear it.
I was taking pictures of the couple. We had like a car, and I took the rings off of them, or I asked them for the rings to put them on like the hood of the car and take a cool photo. I gave the rings back, and like you said, I had them on my finger when I was like walking around with them, but I gave them back. I knew I gave them back. When we moved spots to their house, we're taking pictures with their cats outside. She goes back in the house after her pictures with the cats, and then she comes out and she's like, my ring's gone. And I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, do you have it? And I'm like, no, I gave it back to you. And I was like freaking out. I'm like, did I give it back to her? Like, I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I was like 100% sure I did, but now I'm freaking out, right? So I literally went into my pictures I just took, zoomed in to see where her ring was, like, because we had just taken pictures, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I was like looking, and I looked at the last picture I took, and her ring was still on her finger. So I didn't lose it. So she must have lost it between the pictures and the house, and she finally found her ring in her house, like on the carpet. But I was like freaking out.
How did it fall out without her noticing?
It must have been like one of those. It must not have been like fitted properly to her hand. I don't know, but like for a hot second, I thought I was like going straight to jail. I thought I was dead. I thought I was done. I thought I was done.
Could you imagine if you lost it? Oh
no, that's why I was like, I zoomed in right onto her ring finger just to like see when
you're like,
fell
no,
off.
You have it on.
Yeah, very scary.
And you'd think you would notice a ring
you always
falling
think
off.
until you don't. So
okay, so this one is from a Las Vegas wedding photographer.
Oh,
yeah. So this is gonna be fun.
I'm scared.
So Monday, I get booked to shoot the wedding Wednesday. Hotel calls me to cancel because the bride backed out. Thursday, hotel calls to rebook me because the wedding is back on. Same groom, but different bride. Friday, I shoot the wedding with the new bride, about 18 or 19 years old. Groom was early 20s, and it's clear they barely know each other. Bride just kept saying, this is crazy. This is so crazy. I can't believe I'm doing this. Neither could I. No, it wasn't a mail order bride.
So what is going on?
That is interesting.
He's
Someone
like,
really wanted
that guy. He's like, I'm in Vegas. I'm getting married this weekend. I don't care who it is.
I don't care who it is. Yeah, I thought that was a cute one.
Okay. At my cousin's wedding, I paid my dollar during the dollar dance to dance with her new husband. It was really hot and he was really sweating, like dripping on the floor sweaty. When we were dancing, he tried to spin me, slipped on his own sweat, and pulled down my strapless dress. Only one boob fell out, but it was still one too many. Luckily, everyone was kind enough to pretend they didn't even notice and has never mentioned it to this day, 14 years later.
Oh, that is a good one.
I love it. She's like, that was one boob too many. It's like,
one too many.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That is a good one. Okay, I have another funny one from the Vegas gal. Okay. So, the wedding was on the top of the Stratosphere Tower. Don't know what that is. The couple shows up and the bride is a new age crystal type, very, let's say, spiritual. And the groom straight up looks like...
We love her already.
The groom straight up looks like an 1849 gold miner. Rope belt, floppy hat, 3 teeth, the whole thing. The bride tells me there would be spirits and angels in the photos. And the reason they got married at the Stratosphere is because it's the closest place to heaven that they could get married. Okay. They were so weird about it and said so many times that they wanted to be with God and to go to heaven that the hotel had the bomb dog sniff them before getting on the elevator to go to the top. We lie and tell them it's standard practice and the dogs have to sniff everyone. Wedding happens and they start chanting nonsense words. Speaking in tongues, ? Then they proceed to have the grossest makeup session I've ever seen. Turns out they met that week in AA.
Oh, we love a Las Vegas wedding.
These are so good because, I guess people really do get married like that in Vegas.
I mean, I would love to know if they're still together. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Maybe two souls just connected and now they're bonded.
Is there like
forever.
A rule if you get married in Vegas, you can get a divorce soon after?
An annulment? I don't know.
Annulment, yeah.
Okay, this one's funny.
Oh, that's funny.
A Royal Marine asked me to sing at a wedding. One of his company was the groom. The plan was that I would start singing when the bride entered the church. I was to be out of sight the whole time, standing on like a little side porch. I was given a walkie-talkie headset so that I could get the signal for when she arrived, because he wouldn't see her come in, right?
Yeah.
Neil, the Royal Marine, was standing with me. Neil had no time for the bride. I think what they mean is they didn't like the bride.
Oh, yeah.
And then this guy says, me neither. The pair of us in the porch were talking that none of the groom's friends wanted them to get married. I agreed, saying, who would want to marry her? Seriously, she's a fantastic... They started to come out and hush me. The sound technician had messed up and fed my walkie-talkie headset through the church, and everybody heard every single word I said about who'd want to marry her. That is my biggest fear, even though like I have no microphones near me and I would never say anything like that. But like,
could you imagine?
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
That's just so chaotic. Like, also, why are you there if you hate her? Why are you singing at her wedding?
I would leave. I would not be able to handle that embarrassment.
No. I want to know if he still sang. Like, if he still did what he was supposed to do after that. I want to know.
What would you do?
Like, what's the rest of this story? Did she come running down and tackle you? Like, yeah. Because that's what I would do.
Oh, that's not good. Okay. Videographer here. This one's a videographer. Ooh. This is a long one, but good. I had to pull the video up to transcribe it. There were multiple couples, but this was the best one. This groom thought he was such hot stuff. Wannabe gangster type dude.
Oh, God.
During the ceremony, he wore sunglasses for one. Then for the vows, he wanted his young kids to come up and be next to him for some reason. That's kind of cute. Mm-hmm. So during the bride's wonderful, long, thought-out vows, the kids were messing around with the lapel mic I put on him the whole time. So all he did was ignore her and pay attention to them. When her vows ended, he laughed at her. And all the guests laughed when he laughed. Then it was his turn. And this is literally what his vows said. I mean, I'm a wing it. I just knew about this last night. I mean, what can I say? You're perfect. You make my heart stop. Points to the kids. These are my boys. You're my world. That's all that matters. And that was it. Okay. He never said I love you to her once the whole day. During toast, he gave a speech thanking the bride's mom for funding the wedding. Then to the guests, I want to thank all of you guys for joining us on this special event. Life-changing. I love my sons, my brothers, and my parents, my aunts, and my uncles, and cousins, and my coworkers. Woo! I love you guys.
And not her?
I wouldn't want anyone else to be a part of this day. You guys are my world. And to Ashley, his wife, we're having fun, yeah? And that's all he said to her. He thought he just delivered the best speech ever, too. And when he hands the mic over to her, he said, top that, with the most smug look on his face.
I'm sure she did, sir. I'm sure she did.
Oh, God.
My.
The thing is, like...
I know some people don't like public speaking, and, like, maybe that was just a case of, like, nerves. Yeah. I don't know. But
he said he just found out about, like, the vows the night before. I don't think that's
the whole
true.
part of your wedding is the vows.
Literally. Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not my story. Oh, you're going to like, okay, this one's wild.
This is a good one. Okay.
Not my story, but my friend's. And actually, it was at her cousin's wedding reception. When the guests sat down at the tables, everyone had an envelope on a plate with pictures of the bride in a compromising situation with, I think, the best man. The bride cheated on the groom, both when they were dating and when they were engaged, which he found out shortly before their wedding. The groom had no mercy, and I respect that.
That's so bad.
Like, savage. Can you imagine you shock where you're like, oh, a little envelope, they probably wrote us a little thank you note, and you open it and it's that.
Why are you getting married?
Also, my other question is, this says it's at the cousin's wedding reception, which, like, is the dinner. So it's like, did they just get married and then he told her? Like, what? Like, why did you get married then? I'm confused.
And it was with the best man?
Yeah, that's what the person thinks.
That's so bad.
Yeah, it really can't get worse than that.
I just don't know how this stuff's real. Like, it blows my mind.
I know. Like, some of them I'm like, I wish I was there.
Ugh, geez. That's a good one.
What a time.
Okay. Not a photographer, but at the ceremony, the minister asked the bride's friends and family to say some affirmation, like we do or similar, about how they supported the marriage. Those people said the affirmation and cheered loudly. The minister then asked the groom's friends and family to do the same thing. Dead silence. The minister, very flustered, said, "Hey, how about you folks give it another chance?" And then he asked the groom's friends and family to affirm their support of the marriage. This time, dead silence. Minister continued with the ceremony. Couple lasted maybe a few years. Backstory. Many of the groom's friends and family had begged him not to marry this woman up to the day, including the day of this wedding.
Oh my God.
She was horrible.
Yikes. I mean, maybe like that would have been the time to like say, okay, like.
I would be like, goodbye.
Peace out. Oh my God.
You'd think you would realize that before, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
The groom ran full sprint around the wedding reception hall, double fisting bottles of beer. He slipped on the ground and dislocated both of his hips. His father popped them both back in while the groom screamed through tears while still holding on to the beers.
Oh my
Not
God.
just one hip, both hips.
How is that even possible?
I don't know. This is one of those stories where I'm like, I want to be there and just see this happen.
Right? To shoot that?
Yeah.
Could
that
you
would be a
imagine?
wild time. Wild time. I'll say another one because I have another short one.
Yeah, do it.
My mother, in the middle of the reception, proceeded to tell people I married the wrong person and named who I should have married. And yes, they were a guest. Thanks, Mom.
That's ruthless. We
my
love
mom
the
did
honesty.
That. Again, straight to jail. Like, sorry, Mom, but you're going to prison after that. Because
I don't think that they tell you before.
But this is the thing. You know what's funny about that is like your mom, like people around you, like you could be 100% in love with that person. It's like the perfect person for you, but like somebody has this opinion and they're like, nope, this is what I think. Like they just decide to do that. That like ruins everything.
That's so bad.
I love that they were a guest. They're probably like, oh, dude.
Thanks.
Thanks for that. Like, I don't know.
That makes me wonder if they had a relationship with that person or probably not. Just like some random.
I bet you it was like in high school and their mom just liked that
Probably. Or like a friend.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's funny.
Moms.
Okay. So, yeah, this is a wedding photographer story. This was 15 years ago or so. I left wedding photography a few months later.
Oh.
The reception was at their home. They didn't want photos at the ceremony and didn't want wedding party/family photos between the ceremony and reception, triggering the first raise of an eyebrow on my end. At the reception, the groom didn't want his brother, best man, or the best man in the photos. Other eyebrow goes up. The mothers of both the bride and the groom both scolded me to let them be and told me to eat instead of take photos. As the newlyweds were making their grand departure, the bride tosses the bouquet. Everyone cheers. The groom shouts,
Oh no.
I knocked the bleep up so bleep that she got 2 babies in her bleep.
No, he didn't.
The guests react in various ways of shock and happiness about the pregnancy test, but the best man lunges at the groom, shouting and swearing. Family holds the best man back and the couple runs out to the car. The groom flipped off the spectators and pulled out of the driveway. 2 houses down, the car stops. The groom gets out and pukes on the neighbor's lawn. The bride gets into the driver's seat and takes off, leaving her husband yerking into a flower bed, and the best man ran down the street trying to flag down the car. Divorced 4 months later.
I mean, it sounds like a party, but yeah, I could see the divorce coming. That makes sense.
How can that even be real?
LOL. Oh my God.
Yeah, that one was nice.
Okay. I was a bridesmaid in a wedding that was held in a barn during the summer. Beautiful, right? Sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
As the vows were being said, a bird flew into one of the fans above us and then fell on the ground right in front of us. Its wing fell off right next to it. The children in the audience screamed. The bridesmaids screamed, but the bride and groom had no idea what happened. I think it was a bad omen because the couple is now divorced.
No doubt. Oh my God.
I love that they had no idea. Everyone's screaming and they're like, what is going on?
What's going on? Jeez.
Oh my God. Okay, I have
That's
one.
a good one.
I have another one. Okay. My hotel hosted a huge wedding all weekend. We also hosted the big rehearsal dinner where the bride and groom got into a huge fight, then ended up in the lobby with the bride screaming that she hated the groom, that his mother and sisters were horrible harpies, and that she was pregnant and didn't know if he was the father. I was specifically told by management that if any guests from the wedding wanted to check out early, not to charge them because it was such a spectacular fight. Then they still had the wedding. And I'm told their reception was booked for 200 people. About 50 showed up. Some of the wedding guests decided to have a huge fight in the middle of the parking lot. It was so loud and aggressive that another guest called 911 on them. Management wanted to know why I didn't send security down to defuse it, but the first I heard of the issue was the police showing up. No one called us to complain, and security was dealing with an issue on the other side of the property. While this was happening, the bride and the groom got into another huge fight in the middle of the wedding reception, and the bride went home with her mom. We were also happy that the party wrapped up after that.
Probably should have wrapped up at the beginning when they had that conversation.
A long time ago. Yep, that's pretty wild.
Huh. That is a good one. Imagine witnessing that.
I know. It's like, that's what I mean. Like, I'm here for the tea. I want to like go to all these weddings because I kind of like low key, like I love the traumas.
I know. Well, and something always happens.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this one's during an engagement session. The couple was in from out of town because she had just taken her bar exam to become a lawyer.
Love it.
At the end of the session, I gave them a prompt to share with each other what they were proud of, like each other for. He couldn't think of a single thing. And she just did her bar exam.
Red flag.
Somehow they still got married, complete with the groom drinking 11 IPAs and several shots before the ceremony. Mother of the bride got so drunk for family photos, she pretended to strip. And the groom and all the groomsmen wearing camo hats with neon orange letters that said, in quotations, titties and beer. Titties and beer. For the entire wedding day. Including sunset couples photos where he refused to do anything I suggested. Nearly spat chew right on my feet. Kept farting on purpose.
I'm sorry, but why are we chewing on your wedding day?
Why do you have a hat that says titties and beer?
Yeah,
That's
I don't know what's
horrible.
I don't know what's more problematic. I'm sorry,
and
sir.
the 11 IPAs, that's very specific.
Yeah, I love that. IPAs are also nasty. So, like, what is he doing? I don't know what the heck that's about.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have more?
I have one more, but
I also have one more. Great. Look at us go.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. That's so funny. Okay, are you ready for this?
Oh, do you want me to go or are you
ready for this? I am like this. I left it till the end because it's actually the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's so random.
Okay, wait. Do you want me to do mine first and then you can do that one? So it's the finale?
Yeah, you guys can wait for this.
Okay.
Sarah, go first.
Okay. I did a wedding for an acquaintance and her husband. Day goes great. I'm really happy with almost everything I took. Everyone was feeling it and having fun. But, and this is one of the reasons I quit photography, the bride sees some of the photos I had sent her and immediately is calling me. I need you to do your editing magic and make me look skinny. John was saying I was going to look fat in my dress and wanted me to lose weight, but I knew you could just edit it. Haha, so I didn't. So I have to explain. This is in 2010. I can only Photoshop so much. But I can't do all of them. And if I was to, the editing would be noticeable, especially in 2010. Like, I doubt they even really had.
No, software was not as good. Like, you could do some stuff, but you would be able to tell. Yeah.
And that's like not
okay. We love our bodies. We love our bodies, you guys.
Yeah. That's not and then he said, and I would have to charge you a lot of money to edit you in all the photos. She tried to convince me to edit hundreds of photos for a couple $100.
No.
And I have other jobs and had given them a great deal already. So I explained to her that I couldn't. So she insisted I at least do some of her main photos. I tell her when people see the rest of the pics, they will see the difference. She didn't care and insisted more. So I do. And a couple of weeks later, when I thought it was all done and history calls, when I thought it was all done in history, she calls me and leaves me a voicemail of how I ruined her wedding. Her new husband is upset at how she looks in the pics and keeps making remarks about her weight. So didn't seem like they were in a great place from the get-go. I read that really
so
bad.
Mean. That's so mean.
Is that bad?
Let's not marry him. Maybe. Let's not marry him.
No.
That is so rude.
Yeah.
Listen, we all need to find husbands that don't do that. That is the biggest red flag. Like, that's so horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. I am so excited to tell you the story. It is pure nightmare and random at the same time. During the wedding party, some of the family of the groom planned/pranked the party by dressing in Teletubby costumes and running around to the theme music. Instead of Teletubby masks that would match the costumes, right? They had plain, cheap, white plastic masks from the costume store. It was complete nightmare fuel. Children were crying. And all I could do. Wait. It was complete nightmare fuel. Children were crying, and it was all I could do to not leave right there on the spot.
That is weird.
I'm sorry, but who came up with the idea and said, oh, you know what would be so funny? If we were Teletubbies. Also, let's not actually go full out and let's do a half Teletubby, half like nightmare. Like, let's just put a mask over our face. Like, what?
That's terrifying. And like, why Teletubbies? Like, did someone have a thing for Teletubbies or like?
How about we just don't prank people on weddings? I feel like that is
that's a no. That's so bad. Half of
me wants to believe that never happened, but also like,
it wouldn't surprise me.
Like, who?
I think I'd be crying like with the children. That's so creepy.
I just want to see it. I just want to see it happen.
So wait, was it the bridal party?
No, it was some of their family.
That's so weird.
I don't understand.
Imagine if it was the bridal party.
Like,
walking down the aisle.
No. And they're like, do.
I recently watched that Friday Night at Freddy's movie, and that reminds me of that because there's these creepy characters that come alive, and I don't like that.
No, I would have PTSD.
That's so weird.
That is really wild. I just can't.
Well, I definitely think we need an episode with happy stories because some of these are like
stories. Yeah.
These are all like photographers quitting shooting because of drama from weddings and
or just like
really bad grooms.
Chaotic.
Or people hate the bride. That's another big hot topic apparently.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of these issues should be resolved before the wedding day arrives. But like,
I know.
To each their own. That's fine.
Make sure your mom is happy with the groom. Otherwise.
I love that one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I feel like there could be so many more too. Like, it's crazy what happens. Yeah. And it's weird because like even weddings we've done, like you never know when the craziest stuff is going to happen.
I feel like we could just keep laughing about these stories, but I'm sure we're both busy and we have things to do, unfortunately. Not that I would love to stay and chat, but
this wasn't an overly educational
listen, you need to learn some things and then you need to laugh, and that's what we're here to do.
Yes, you can't take it all seriously because
that's the thing, right? Like
crazy things happen.
Hopefully not ever to us. I just like reading people's stories. I like reading other people's stories and not actually experiencing it, so
exactly.
Awesome. Wow. Well, thanks for joining, and hopefully we will see you next week.
We better.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.